guys, now at the moment I really feel like trash to treasure is quite a big thing, and refashioning something, repurposing something, or upcycling. And my friend's moving house, she was going to throw out this old coffee table, and I thought it would actually, you know, you could give it a new lease of life and make it look trendy again by using some of the DC Fix. This is a wood grain, grey effect wood grain, which I think will go really nicely in my lounge. So the first thing that you need to do is just check that the surface is completely clear. So get rid of any dust or debris or grit that might be on there. You can just use a cloth or some kitchen roll and just wipe it down. So I've already done that. And then the next step, just make sure you've got all your tools ready to go. So we've got scissors, then in the application kit you've got a scalpel and the smoother that you can just use to get rid of any air bubbles. And then a pen so we can mark up the measurements if we need to, where we can snip away the excess roll. So this is a sticky back plastic. Basically I'm going to cover obviously the table top and then the sides of the table as well, and wrap it around. I think the corners could be quite scary. I'm not any DIY expert. I do quite a lot of baking, so I'm thinking that the corners are kind of a bit like baking paper, you know, when you cut it to lay it into a tin and you just wrap it around. So that's what we'll focus on when we get to there. So first up, what we'll start by doing is, we know that the width of the paper is enough to cover the sides of the table, and you just need an overhang so you can wrap it around on the edge. So we'll flip this over and roll it back. And I'm going to cut this once it's hanging over the edge, so just check that I've got enough on this side. So maybe about a thumb's worth over the edge, just so I can wrap that under when we get to that point. So there are grid lines on the back of this paper, which is really good. It's got centimetre squares on it, you know, like you find in your maths book at school or whatever. So you can use that to as a guide of where you need to cut. So I'm just using this 25 line. I can go all the way across that to the other side. I think what probably puts some people off doing things like this is you think once you start, if you get it wrong, then that's it, it's game over, you know, you've ruined the table. But that's not actually the case. You can peel this back and go again. So now I've folded back the backing paper, which just means that I've got something to grip onto once I start pulling it away. And then I'm going to let this hang over the edge, but I'm not going to stick it down. I'm going to start by sticking it onto the table top. So that's it. Then we get our smoother, and we can start. That paper that we folded back, I can get grip on that with my thumb and start pulling that away. So you push the bubbles towards the edge so the air can come out. It's got somewhere to escape to. So I start pulling that back. See here, I've got a little crease there, and the best way to get rid of that is to actually pull this back and stick it again. That's it. Yeah, there we go. This is what I was talking about with baking, like baking parchment. So you cut in on a diagonal, so from the edge of your paper towards the corner of the table, you're just going to do one long snip right into the corner. And we just need to be conscious of not over-cutting it, because if you go over the edge of the table, then you're going to expose what's underneath. I'm just going to make that cut. And probably best to undercut and then check it and go back if you're, that's it, just into a sharp point. So then you end up with these two triangles, so you can wrap one around, just putting that nice and tight. And you can either stick that whole thing down, but if you don't, I think to reduce the bulk underneath it, I'm just going to snip off the actual triangle bit itself, so maybe stick about 1 centimetre down. And then with this second one, I'm going to use the scalpel to trim this off. And now we need to repeat that on all of the corners. I think you're probably better to leave too much and then go back and trim away a bit more than to take away too much in one go. Well, I think that looks pretty good, even if I do say so myself. I think what's amazing is that actually this really was something that was rubbish, it was trash, it was quite literally going to be going in the bin, and no one would have any idea if they walked in my lounge now that underneath that is just a grubby old table with paint splodges on it, and it was going to go in the skip. So it really has given it a new lease of life. And I also think it looks quite expensive. You know, it's very trendy, and well, it's totally going to serve a purpose in my house, and we can put my cups of tea on there, it's not going to melt away or anything on the plastic, and it was a pretty easy job to do as well. So I think it's a nice simple afternoon spent reinventing something, and I got something to treasure.